Hello everyone and welcome. Oh my god, I'm so excited for this one. Welcome to... I think I know what that is. Sleep Now in Sapphire. Information relating to the weapon project has been uncovered and your allies prepared to depart for distant lands. I'm so excited for this one. You have no idea. I know it's only probably going to be like a minute of gameplay, but mechs! Alexander, I'm afraid we haven't much in the way of information to share from the front line. We have, however, received word that Gaius wishes to speak with you at Alliance headquarters. I've arranged an escort to take you to headquarters, so when you're ready to depart, speak with a fellow over there. Resistance fighter. Ready to head out? Indeed I am. Let's go! Mech fighter. Mech fighter. Good, you're here. The Ironworks have completed their analysis of the ruby weapon, and Sid Garland wishes to share his findings. I take it you can spare a few moments? Yep. Very good. Please wait here while I inform him of your arrival. Glad you could make it, Alex. I'm sure you're anxious as anyone to hear what we've uncovered. Our early hypotheses were proven correct. The Garleans have designed a system whereby a pilot's consciousness can be forcibly supplanted with data based on the memories and experiences of another. So even a rank amateur could obtain the combat capabilities of a seasoned warrior. That's the wrong person's voice, but you get the idea. Precisely. And we learned how this was made possible when we opened the cockpit. The monitors were still operational, and among the messages displayed, one particular phrase caught my attention: synthetic aurosite system. What is that exactly? Well, the core of the ultimate weapon was referred to as the Heart of Sabik by the Asians. We believe it to have been a type of aurosite. I can't say much for the synthetic sort at this stage, but I've encountered real aurosite before. It was extremely potent, perhaps equal in power to the Heart of Sabik. It's unclear whether the Garlean simulacrum possesses the same properties as genuine aurosite, but I intend to follow this avenue of inquiry to see where it leads. What we do know is that it was used to implant the combat data of Neil Vandanas into the pilot, who has been presumed dead since before the calamity. Are you any closer to discovering how they were able to retrieve this data? The link didn't occur to Gaius at first, but he later told me of devices fitted to the Magitech armor of the Empire's high-ranking officers. There is reason to believe they were designed to emulate the soul crystals used throughout Eorzea. Yes, that was rumored to be its true purpose, but it was never publicly acknowledged. Perhaps those in the upper echelons of command wanted to avoid comparison to the so-called savages they were meant to be conquering. There is also the question of whether this system ever functions as intended, or even. From what I've seen, we can assume they were successful in gathering combat data of those wearing armor equipped with the device. If the comparison with soul crystals is valid, perhaps this data was transferred via ether. However, it seems that it extracted not only memories related to combat, but the soldier's very essence. As you saw, the pilot succumbed entirely to the will of Vandanas. Though this is merely supposition, it's possible that being suffused with the ruby weapon's core accelerated the process and caused the deceased legators to manifest in corporeal form. Could it be that the death of the pilot was caused by the system malfunctioning? It's hard to say. The ruby weapon itself was still largely intact when it was deactivated, which strongly implies that it was the synthetic aurosite running amok that killed her, rather than the damage incurred during the battle. But even after our analysis, I'm afraid we still don't have enough information. For now, perhaps we should consult with Gaius as to our next plan of action. Gaius will know how best to proceed. I still need to get to the bottom of how the synthetic aurosite system works, and whether the pilot's fusion with the core was a malfunction or planned from the start. I have just returned from my reconnaissance, and I shall reveal my findings before taking a long overdue rest. Vonderlin is come bearing vital information. I traced the ruby weapon's path back to the occupied territory of Werlyt, which appears to be where it was built. Where exactly is Werlyt? My grasp of geography is surprisingly poor. Care to enlighten me? While Alamigo is placed on the western edge of Gimlet, Werlyt lies on the opposite side, to the east. It was once a proud and prosperous city, until it was brought to its knees by the Imperial invaders. You seem rather well versed, well informed. Perhaps I should have taken you with me. I thought that much was common knowledge. It is also where Alphonse and the others were born. And now the weapons project has brought them home. Yes, the place is now rife with Imperials. They have established an airship supply depot in the coastal town of Turncliffe. According to the locals, something resembling one of the weapons was transported there a few days ago. This bodes ill indeed. Were it possible, I would attempt to capture Alphonse and his followers before they can launch an offensive. However, the distance between here and Turncliffe presents a considerable obstacle, and in all likelihood, their weapon will be ready long before we arrive. Approaching by sea would allow us to save time by circumventing their ground-based troops, provided we were able to secure a vessel. Or you could use the Enterprise and take the most direct route of all, as the crow flies. In fact, this is the perfect chance to put my top-secret plan into action. And might I ask what that entails? It wouldn't be much of a secret if I told you now, would it? What I can say is there's a starring role planned for you, Alex. Why so surprised? You didn't think I'd let you get off that easily, did you? It'll be here soon, so don't go anywhere. Ah, Sid. You know exactly how to get to my heart. I must admit, I'm not fond of surprises, or secrets for that matter. Many Imperials who fought at Gimlet withdrew to Werlyt, though they will have had ample time to recuperate by now. Were we to approach by land, we could expect considerable resistance. I see Sid still delights in keeping others in suspense. I can only hope he does not make us wait over long. Duty calls, commence battle for Sleep Now and Sapphire? Well, so here's the thing. I'm going to accept this right now and hope that they auto-set this thing to daytime. As you can see, it's still a while till the sun will rise, and I want this to be during the sun to look cooler. So, I may have to fail the quest if not. But either way, duty calls, commence battle for Sleep Now and Sapphire. Let's do this. Oh, it's beautiful. Here it is, Alex. I present Garland Ironworks' adaptation of the Ultima Warrior. Oh, the Ultima Warrior. The G Warrior. I know elegant design when I see it. Excavated from one of the ruins, no doubt. As Islam, to be precise. We came across it during the course of our investigations and decided it would be a shame to let it go to waste. And you will be taking this refitted relic to face the enemy head-on, yes? Perhaps my knowledge of the Ultima weapon will be of use. I'm counting on it as it happens. But first, we need to perform a test run in the simulator before throwing you into battle. Come, we haven't much time. Oh god, please don't destroy this at the end of this quest, please! Oh, I heard that. Oh my god, it is nighttime!
Let's begin the G-Warrior training simulation. I've prepared 3 trials to teach you the basics. First, I want you to try attacking the guidance system. Don't worry, it won't fight back. The G-Warrior is armed with a range of weaponry. Now's your chance to learn what it's capable of.
There's a lot of abilities. Alright, let's have a look through these. It doesn't matter so much that it's nighttime for this test run, although it does look kind of cool at night. It's more the actual battle I want to be well lit. So, safety lock, priority booster, safety lock is on, preventing the use of the booster, preventing the use of ethereal Aegis. Auto heal. Ooh, auto heal has stopped. And AP regeneration has stopped. So we have Ether Cannon. The Ether Mine. Let's see. 300 to target all nearby it. So that's a dot. Which increases damage taken. Ooh. Executes the following weapon skill in succession. Ether Saver, Ether Cut, Final Flourish. Alright, so that's our standard attack. That's our ranged attack. Ultima Buster. Deals unsuspected damage with potency to all enemies in a straight line. So that's a straight line. Yeah, makes sense. Auto Restoration. So yeah, it makes sense. Reduce the recast time and Reduces cast time and recast time of weapon skills. Ooh, HP is drained while in use. So that makes skills faster, but HP is drained. Reduces damage by 50%. EP is drained while in use. Right. Okay, I think I understand these. Oh, hello. Alright, so let's... I now understand that. Ah. Let's move back to use the range. Ooh. That's interesting. I guess we have to keep that mine as well. Oh, that's cool. I guess we also have the... Makes sense, yeah. Oh, we can't lock onto it.
So far, so good. Let's move on to something a bit more advanced, shall we? The G-Warrior also comes equipped with a Pyretic Booster, which diverts even more power to its weapons and increases its speed and maneuverability. This, however, comes at a price. Activating it places a huge strain on the G-Warrior, so it must only be used in short bursts. That's why it's best to practice here before heading into battle. Now, try activating the Pyretic Booster.
Alright, safety lock off.
You'll notice that your movement speed is much improved, but as shown on your monitor, the G-Warrior becomes more and more structurally unstable as time passes. To deactivate the Pyretic Booster, press the same button again. Auto restoration can mitigate a certain amount of damage incurred, but don't rely on it to carry you through the battle. Now to try using the Pyretic Booster to destroy the target. This time, the node will launch wide-reaching attacks in quick succession, but with your increased movement speed, you should have no trouble evading. Excellent work, Alex! You'd best deactivate the Pyretic Booster while I explain the final trial. We've covered offense, now to look at defense. This is where the Ethereal Aegis should come in handy. Unfortunately, you can't keep the barrier up indefinitely, as it will drain the G-Warrior's power reserves. You might even run out of energy for the weapons, so watch out. First, let's try deploying the Ethereal Aegis. The monitor shows how much power is being drained. Don't let it get too low. That's enough for now. Turn off the barrier using the same button used to deploy it. For the last trial, we'll be using the Ethereal Aegis while attempting to destroy the target. Unlike before, there is no way to escape its attacks, so you'll need to weather them using the barrier.
Alright, I think I get this. Look at the damage.
You're a natural. Alright, that's everything. Time to end the simulation.
Duty complete. Ah, it's so cool. Trying to figure out. See, that looks to me like a giant gun on the back. But it doesn't look like it has the holes for said gunning. Back for more training, eh? Oh my god, you can do the training anytime. Oh, that's awesome. I suppose that in theory, any one of us could be the pilot. But I dare say your preternatural abilities give you a certain advantage. Incredible. But how does it compare to the weapons? Where's Sid? Siddy boy! Right, so based on that last one, it looks like the weather doesn't change, or at least didn't for that one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait like a minute and I guess see you in a second and we'll take on... Are you sufficiently prepared? Some more practice wouldn't go amiss. In that case, you should have the technician run the simulator again. Alright, so I'll see you back here in 1 second where the sun has risen. Okay, so hilariously, I actually had to exit and come back in to check. Because it looks like it's daytime. Doesn't look like it is in here, does it? Alright, let's do this thing. Are you sufficiently prepared? Yep, I'm ready. Punch, punch. Then we shall depart for Turncliffe at once. Whew! Duty calls, commence battle for sleep now in Sapphire? Let's do this. Did I click leave? I clicked leave, didn't I? Punch, punch. Cough, cough. Let's do this. It seems they're expecting us, but who's the pilot? Alex, we're almost there. You'd better have your wits about you. Initiate combat mode! Now, get ready to strike! It's time to fry this overgrown squid. G-Warrior, engage! That sounds awfully familiar.
Mark IV Anti-Icon War Machina, the Sapphire weapon.
I can't afford to lose. It's all or nothing. Activating Oversoul!
Hydra's combat sample ready. Initiating organic core override.
No! I can't hold on! I will be monitoring the situation from the air. Follow my instructions and eliminate the target. Metal Gear.
Well, well. It seems the savages have been busy. I shall enjoy breaking their new toy. It must have absorbed an aquatic icon. Be sure to use the pyretic booster and the ethereal Igus. My likeness reborn in cerulean flames. There's nowhere to run. Is that Ultima? Use the ethereal Igus! It's submerged, but not for long. Watch for signs of movement. It's preparing to strike. Quickly, deploy the Igus. The turrets are preparing to self-destruct. Destroy them with the Ultima Buster. There is nowhere to run. There is nowhere to run. Your wild flailing shall avail you not.
Destroy the Cerulean servants! Then focus your attacks on the Sapphire weapon. You mustn't let it launch its next attack. The Cerulean servants are protecting the weapon. Ignore the turrets for now and destroy the servants. Whew. The target has been silenced. That damn squid never stood a chance. Now that the immediate threat has been dealt with, we should gather what information we can in Turncliffe. No G-Warrior destruction? Ah! New area, no destruction! It's a miracle! This lift leads down to the storage area where the weapons were kept. Unfortunately, the Imperials didn't leave an awful lot behind for us to investigate, but they did give us a place to carry out maintenance on the G-Warrior. In fact, I can take you down there for a closer look if you're interested. Ooh, yes please. I thought this was just going to be like, talk to him, he'll activate the training. Metal Gear. Oh, there's so many options. Ask about the G-Warrior. When we first discovered it in Azesla, it was in a far worse state than it is now. Different color too. As for its intended purpose, we believe it was developed to combat primals or similar threats. All of the parts deemed unnecessary have been removed, and we've made several adjustments to improve stability and overall safety. As a result, however, we had to limit its capabilities to some degree. We can't afford to repeat the mistakes made by the Guardians with the Ultimate weapon. Who we believe employed knowledge obtained from the Asians. After all, we know how that ended. You might also be relieved to hear that Master Garland has introduced a pilot recognition system, so that only those given prior permission by the Ironworks can operate it. Think of it as a precaution should the enemy get any ideas about stealing it from us. Sure, inspect the head. The two sensors in the front of the head work in much the same way as the eyes of a living creature, sending visual information to the pilot. The horn-like protrusion was one of several additions we made ourselves. It's for picking up link pearl signals, not for ramming into enemies. Still, if push comes to shove, I dare say it could be used to make a last-ditch attack. Compared to the original design, the outward appearance is largely the same, but we've carried out a number of improvements. The manipulators, or hands as you might call them, were originally created to claw at the enemy. We've modified them to allow the use of various weapons, such as the ethereal saber. Nice. Ah, I'm glad you noticed. The boosters were built entirely by the Ironworks to allow for low altitude flight and increased maneuverability. They are currently unsuited to being used over long distances, hence the need to have the G-Warrior transported by airship. This is another area we're hoping to improve in future iterations. Oh, I don't really climb onto. Ah, it's so cool. Done enough posing? No, I have not done enough posing. Oh, it's so cool. I know this won't work. Damn it. Yes, I've done enough posing. Ah. Stand by. It's so good. I love it so much. And yes, as you can see, that's why my outfit's white this time around. It's almost like I've seen the patch notes. Oh, as sad as I am to say this. Yep. Let's return to Turncliffe. Let's do it. Wait for a second. See what the camera does in its pan. Is it just going to go back the other way now? Or is it just going to stay there? Okay. Sad face. Oh, I love it so much. Never let it be destroyed. It's the most useful thing in existence. Ah, screw you. I must admit I envy your talents. Would that I could possess even a fraction of your skill. That I could better serve Gaius. I cannot help feeling there was a simpler way to defeat the weapon. Perhaps shooting it in the head with a large cannon would have sufficed. Nice Final Fantasy VII reference. Wow, I'm legit shocked. Look at this massive area. I'm guessing, yeah, no mounts allowed. I've been separated from my family ever since I was forced in the army, but I was able to sneak away in the confusion. I've got you and your friends to thank for that. My main concern is that Legatus Valens won't take this lying down. That man is like a dog with a bone. Once he sinks his teeth in, he never lets go. He'll be back, I'm sure of it. And we'll be ready. This whole mini quest is like, there's so much content they've added with it. Hello. No matter what happens to this town, we'll always have the view. True. Who knows? We'll take it one day at a time. How long do you think this will last? I did see them in the wrong order, but oh well. I saw that. I'll come back to you in a second. little running person. There you are. How did you know? Where might the others be? Okay, I guess that's that. If I'm lucky, I might have caught enough of a glimpse of what he said there. Hopefully I can get that in the edit. What do you want with me, lad? Can you tell me about yourself? Me? Not much to tell. Even less worth knowing. Hello there, child. These days I go about my daily business, try not to bother anyone. Just another sad old man, all alone and dying of... Well, I doubt you'd even care if I told you. Used to call myself a doctor. Not that I was much good at it. When the epidemic came 10 years ago, I was powerless to stop it, despite all my years of experience in fancy medicines. For every one I saved, I lost a dozen more. Worse than that, I let those Garlean bastards push me around. Tell me who to treat and who to leave to their fate. As a result, I only saw the Imperials, while my kith and kin died in agony. Ah, what can you tell me about Tencliff? Being far to the south of Werlyt, perched on top of the cliffs, there was never much reason for anyone to travel here. Being by the sea is all well and good, but we're simply too high above the water to benefit much from it. The gulls and terns don't seem to mind, though. Most of the town folk are either Huron natives or Aura who found their way here over the years. They all live side by side, peacefully enough, though before the Garleans came and ruined everything. There wasn't much we could do to stop them. Those who fought back were soon put to the sword. Once the invasion was complete, the Imperials started digging down into the rock and built a supply depot for their blasted airships. Oh, but the experiments were a more recent development. Of course, none of us civilians were privy to what it was they were working on. I expect that'll all come to light now that the bastards have all turned and fled with their tails between the legs. We've got you and yours to thank for that, even if it is only a temporary respite. Oh, well, thank you for that. I'll try and catch the kid now I know he comes back. Those Garlean bastards are finally gone. It's all thanks to you. My husband died defending our town when they first invaded, and for all the years since, it felt like he died for nothing. Now his soul might at last find peace. Chillin'? There you are. The perfect hiding place. And then she finds it. Awesome. Like, even though this is, like, obviously a small-ish area, it's a triple triad person. Huh. Most of the 7th Legion troops stationed here withdrew before you arrived. I expect they're regrouping somewhere and getting ready to retake the town. I even heard one of the members of the weapon project is still hiding somewhere in the town. Ooh, that's very interesting. I'm guessing it's going to be the girl we saw last time. A lot of us local conscripts have deserted the 7th Legion. But the rest of Turncliffe isn't going to forget that we served the Empire, at least not anytime soon. So you should join us. What better way to try and redeem yourself than helping, like, to right the wrongs? I think that's everything. Alright, talk to me, Gaius. You did well piloting the G-Warrior so adeptly in so short a time. With the weapon largely intact, Sid and his researchers should be able to gather a wealth of valuable information. Before it is dismantled, perhaps we should take one last look upon our fallen foe. I've already came over here to do this. Is it going to reactivate? Ooh, or we'll have some echo visions. We should have known Father and his friends would track us down sooner or later. Now they're at our doorstep, and the Sapphire weapon still isn't ready. Even so, I should still be able to fend them off, or at least buy us some time. Not quite how I'd imagined it, but this seems as good a way to die as any. Rex, Recon, what are you still doing here? You're supposed to be moving the other weapons to a safe location. Weapons? I don't like the sound of that. You can take care of that, while I pilot the Sapphire weapon. What are you talking about? I'm the pilot, not you. There's no need to put your life on the line. Besides, it's still incomplete. It can barely perform basic maneuvers. And so, it'll be practically useless in a real fight. We have a solution. Oversoul. You want to end up like Melisandre? No, of course not. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. But she didn't give up her life in vain. The ruby weapon left behind data that's been used to improve the system, to prevent any further malfunctions. What difference does that make? Once Oversoul is activated and the pilot fuses with the core, there's no way back. That's why I should be the one to pilot the Sapphire weapon, not you, Rex. Alphonse needs you. You and I both know I'm the least qualified pilot we have. There's less to lose if I don't make it back. No, I won't let you. Please, Rex, hear me out. Ever since we were children, I was the smallest, the weakest, too afraid to stand up for myself. But I had the best brothers and sisters a boy could wish for. You were always there for me, protected me. Now it's my turn to protect you. Take the other weapons and get out of here. See this through to the end. Do it for me, for Melisandre. I'm counting on you, Rex. You always did have a stubborn streak. Alright, Rickon. I won't let you down. Just promise you'll wait for me. On the other side. We'll meet again, brother. You all made me happier than I had any right to be, and now I've finally found my purpose. I have no regrets. Come on, Sapphire. We may be far from perfect, but we have a job to do. Let's give Father something to remember us by. Oh, it's nighttime now, apparently. The echo, I presume? What did it reveal to you? Recon, my poor boy. You were braver than most could ever hope to be. You can see now why I wanted it in daytime. It's as we feared. I'm sorry, guys. First Melisandre, now Recon. We must find the remaining weapons and end this madness. At least we get to see this place at night time now. Tell me, what do you make of Gaius Balsar? I understand the two of you have been acquainted since his days as the Black Wolf. He claims to have shed his pelt when he took up the hunt for Ascians, but he's still the same man deep down. He certainly kept quiet about having a flock of foster children back in the Empire, though. It seems he would rather bare his teeth to his former masters than allow harm to come to them. Yet try as I might, I cannot make sense of it. Does he truly fight for the good of mankind, as he would have us all believe, or is he merely biding his time before he reveals his true colours? Whatever the answer may be, in the end he will always be a Guardian, and though there may be honourable men and women among them, I have suffered much and more as a result of their conquests, barbaric campaigns in which Gaius Balsar played no small part. My first encounter with the Guardians was 20 years ago, shortly after the fall of Elamigo. They continued their march into the lands that had long been home to the Duskwights. We sought to repel the invaders, but we were woefully unprepared. Our bows and arrows were no match for their magitech, and even our most powerful magics did little to slow their advance. I fought on the front line, but was knocked unconscious in the opening exchange. When I came to, I was alone, and the rest of my unit slaughtered. I hurried back to my village to look for my wife and daughter, only to find the place deserted. My search lasted for days, then weeks, then months, and it seemed they had disappeared without a trace. I finally learned from two Imperials held at Bittermill that the villagers had been captured and used as test subjects for the poison gas that would later be known as Black Rose. They were never seen again. For 20 years I roamed aimlessly, with nothing but hatred to keep me alive. I eventually found myself at the Order of the Twin Adder, who offered me a place among their ranks. The desire for revenge was the only thing I had left, so without a moment's hesitation I accepted. Were it not for the war with Garlemald, I would have been loath to work alongside the city-dwelling Garleans and Predanians, who for so long had treated my kind as outcasts, but none of that mattered anymore. It all culminated with Operation Archon, as you led the charge into the Praetorium, where we were right behind you, and when the place came crumbling down, most of us were caught in the rubble. I skipped with my life, though many others were less fortunate. Having dragged myself free from the rubble, I sought a way out. It was then that I encountered none other than Gaius Balsar, on the verge of death. The gods had delivered to me the man whose conquest had robbed me of everything. I was poised, ready to exact my revenge. And then he spoke. I will not beg for mercy. I only ask that you stay your hand a while longer. I cannot die until I have rid the world of the Ascian menace. For millennia, mankind has danced to their tune, but no more. Then, once we are finally free, my life is yours for the taking. I would have struck him down there and then, had I not sensed truth in his words. So I decided to grant him a stay of execution, and join him on his hunt. All this time, I've kept a close eye on Gaius. Though he is ever on the watch for pursuers, he has granted me ample opportunities to slay him if I so choose. And I still might, if he shows even the slightest sign of betraying our agreement. But for now, the Ascians are my chosen quarry. If they are indeed the ones pulling the Empire's strings, then it shall not end until they have been eradicated, every last one. Though I could not save my kin, there are those who may yet be spared the horrors of war. Unfortunately, dealing with the Ascians will have to wait until we have brought an end to Garlemald's weapon project. Though we may have vanquished 2 of the new weapons, we must make every effort to prepare for whatever the Garleans throw at us next. Perhaps Severa can tell us whether the Ironworks engineers have uncovered any information of note. I'd rather you didn't share what we've discussed with my traveling companions. It would only complicate matters.
The Ironworks engineers are still at work dismantling the Sapphire weapon and investigating the Turncliffe Magitech facility. Though they have yet to make their report, they may have some news to share at this juncture. Please wait here a moment.
We've yet to finish our investigation, but I can give you a preliminary report. Were you able to recover anything of note? Before abandoning the facility, they'd attempted to destroy anything they couldn't take with them, including many of their research materials. Luckily, some information relating to the Sapphire weapon's combat data was intact. Judging by what we saw during the battle, it was extracted from regular Van Hydrus, correct? It also appears that the Sapphire weapon was actually in an incomplete state, and therefore unable to perform at full capacity. Even so, it was immensely powerful. Had they been given the chance to finish it before we'd arrived, who knows how it would have ended. Indeed. Though, we may not be so fortunate next time, so we must prepare for the worst. The Ironworks will continue to investigate the Sapphire weapon and look into possible countermeasures. I just made a revelation. So, they're taking from the Garlean Legatus. I bet the final trial will be... I still haven't figured out what it's going to be. I still feel it could be like another ultimate weapon. But it's going to have Gaius's combat data in it. And it's going to be like the main son piloting it, obviously. I really can't think of anything other than like an ultimate weapon of some sort that would make sense as a final one. They did say there's multiple, so we could see stuff like the Jade weapon, but I guess we'll see. I mean, it could be the Omega weapon. That would sort of make sense in a way. The Echo afforded you a glimpse into the conversation between Rickon and Rex prior to the weapon's development. Do you remember any other details? Improvements were made to the synthetic orosite system to prevent malfunctions. Then it was never the intent to create a manifestation of Nail Van Durnus. Well, there's one thing that was intended. Oversoul. Its activation resulted in the pilot being absorbed by the core, killing them in the process. Rex and Rickon were fully aware of this, were they not? It seemed to be, yes. Then the death of the pilot was by design all along. Alphonse, how could you? Sacrificing your own siblings to fuel these accursed war machines. Surely, there's no cause worth paying such a price. Aye, nothing is more precious than family. This nightmare is far from over. It appears that Rex has fled with the remaining weapons, and we can assume that Alphonse has every intention of sending them into battle. We must find a way to disassemble them before Oversoul can be activated. It says disable, not disassemble. I've seen enough death. I do not wish to see any more. Then there is no time to waste. Let's be about it, guys. Severa, you're in charge here. Keep Sid and his team safe while they carry out the investigation. Understood. Please see that no harm comes to Gaius. I'm guessing we're probably going to get more of her backstory in the next set of quests. While we're gone, I need you to relay everything to the Resistance troops. Your first-hand account should prove useful. If there are any developments, we'll be sure to contact you. Alphonse, I will find you, wherever you are. If the other weapons have been moved elsewhere, the locals must have seen the direction in which they've headed. At this stage, any information at all would be better than what we have now, which is next to nothing. Returning to Gearabon yet? Sadly, yes. Well then, Matt, it sounds like you've been on quite a journey, all the way to Turncliffe. And judging by the fact you made it here in one piece, I trust everything went according to plan. What an astonishing account. I wouldn't mind putting the G-Warrior through its paces myself. Certainly a lot more stimulating than supervising this rabble, I'd imagine. Anyway, as before, I'll compile the information into a report and leave it over there for your perusal, should you feel so inclined. If we hear anything from headquarters, we will be sure to pass it on. Yep, Sapphire weapon bust. The chest of this Garland Ironworks skill replica of a select portion of the Sapphire weapon glows ominously. Except no substitutes. One per state only. Meanwhile, in the 7th Legion Werlyt headquarters. I have come to deliver my report, Lord Valens. Ah, so you have returned, young Alfred. Or was it Ulwick? Not that it really matters, of course. I hear that you and your darling brothers and sisters have allowed the Sapphire weapon to fall into the hands of the enemy. Do tell me it isn't so. I'm afraid that is the case, Lord Valens. Oh, come now. No need to be so sullen. As they say, to err is human, to forgive divine, and you know how forgiving I can be when it suits me. Alright, they're just showing off now. Gotta get those strong bones. So tell me, whatever your name is, who was able to best the Sapphire weapon? Our sources state that the one known as the Warrior of Light was assisted by Sid Garland and Gaius von Belser, my lord. Gaius. Yes, it seems he's been quite the troublemaker of late. Defecting from Garlemald, assassinating the Emperor. Whatever next. Oh well, there's no use crying over spilt milk. Speaking of which, I've become quite the connoisseur since arriving at Werlyt. This particular variety comes from a rare breed of cow, you know. Only 100 of them in existence, and pampered every day of their lives. Yes, they are quite valuable. Until their milk dries up, that is. When it does, they are sent to the slaughterhouse like all the rest. For that is their lot in life. To be discarded once they have served their purpose. Did I create the ruby and sapphire weapons so that you could deliver them gift-wrapped to the enemy? I can see it now. Sid Nan Garland rubbing his hands with glee at all the technological marvels we've bestowed upon him. And you let Gaius von Belser, of all people, get the better of you! How do you think this reflects on me? The legatus of the 7th Legion, humiliated by that traitor,
Humiliated, I say! There is only one way to deal with worthless provincial filth like you. Wait for me in the correction chamber. You need to be taught a lesson in obedience.
Yes, my lord. Forgive my intrusion, Lord Valens, but it's time for your meeting with the head of Magitech Development.
Oh, how time flies when you're whipping useless soldiers into shape. Yes, I'll be along once I've made myself presentable. Can't have people thinking I've let my standards slip now, can I?
What are you doing here?
You wish to see me, Lord Valens?
Did I now?
Yes, that's right. So you're ally, yes. And you joined the military of your own free will, along with your fellow orphans. Such devotion! What an inspiration you are! You see, it is my firm belief that love grants us the power to move mountains, to overcome any obstacle. Together, we shall discover the strength that lies within you. Take my hand, child. I will show you the way.
Whew! That was milky. Still no news from headquarters, unfortunately. Or perhaps that should be fortunately. After all, no news is good news. Well, that's not technically true. Name Sapphire weapon. War Machina developed by the 7th Imperial Legion as a successor to the Ultima weapon. The second known case of the synthetic aura sight system being used in open combat, employing the combat data of Regular Van Hydrus, former legatus of the 6th Imperial Legion. Evidence indicates that the War Machina was in an incomplete state and oversaw was used to mitigate mechanical deficiencies. It was deployed off the coast of Werlyt, and sent into battle with Garland Ironworks' G-Warrior, piloted by Alexander Bellius. It was then rendered inoperable but structurally intact, with only superficial damage sustained. Name Recon, pilot of the Sapphire weapon. All of the information regarding the subject was gained via verbal testimony of Gaius Valsier.
born and raised in Werlyt until his parents died in an epidemic. So that was possibly the epidemic the doctor spoke of. After which he was taken into the care of Gaius Balsier in an imperial orphanage. Though he lacked the physical prowess of his peers, his high degree of dexterity made him ideally suited for maintaining equipment and similar tasks. Even after joining the military, he remained shy and withdrawn. However, on occasions where the safety of his friends was threatened, he would not hesitate to defend them. He later replaced the designated pilot of the Sapphire weapon, following Orphan Rex, and was absorbed by the weapon's core upon activating Oversoul. Estimated age at time of death, 17 years old. Alright, I guess with that we're done. So, let's head home. We'll give that housing item a look. Personally, I found that trial way more fun than actually fighting the weapon ever could have been in like a trial, like a multi-person, like 8-man trial. Well, you can't click on it. It's certainly very cool, and like, I'm actually kind of surprised they just gave it away for free. But with that, we're done for now. Next time, I don't know. We've got like, what, 2 more of these, I think? So I would go for Emerald because it's like the trio of Ruby, Sapphire and Emerald. And then if there is one more after that, maybe another Ultima or the Omega weapon, as like, it is the thing to surpass the Ultima weapon. It is the Omega weapon, which in Final Fantasy VII is the most powerful of all of the weapons, being basically the planet's last ditch attempt of like, yeah, we're fucked, so I'm just gonna take the life force and I'm off. I don't imagine it's gonna have the same sort of story in this, but theming wise it is the most powerful. But anyways, with that, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, even if you enjoyed this even a fraction as much as I did, then that's awesome. So yes, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. God, I hope you get to pilot the G Warrior again. Good God, I do. Bye bye!